thank the gentlelady. And next we have, we're going to recognize the chairman of the full committee, Mr. Guthrie, from the great state of Kentucky, for his 5 minutes of questioning.
Thanks, and I appreciate the ranking member saying Congresswoman Slaughter, because she was a great lady. She represented upstate New York, but you could tell from her accent she was from Appalachia, Kentucky, couldn't you? So thanks for that. You know, getting back to, as you mentioned, thanks, Ms. Hawkins, for mentioning Eli, and you look at, as a parent and a grandparent now, obviously have responsibilities and roles, but what we saw with Eli was, they think, was just a one-time, as you mentioned, into one evening. It happened in one evening, and so we all need to be alert, but you can't be alert 100% of every second of the day, 100% of the time. So it's important that we have these new laws in place. And you know, Eli has mentioned he was a twin, so he was a preemie. I'd mentioned some of the things he had to live with in life, and so I didn't mention that, you know, his sister's now spending the first 2 weeks of her 16 years on Earth without him. So if you think about that, just all the pain that this has caused, and you know, just it's hard to imagine what families have gone through. And so, Ms. Soros and Ms. Hawkins, would you just share how the Take It Down Act would help us hold these people responsible? Other laws, you said COSA, Take It Down Act particularly, would hold these people responsible. Start with Ms. Soros, if you would.
Thank you, Chairman Guthrie. Absolutely. Take It Down, as I described earlier, is really going to fill for children this crucial legal gap that exists right now. I think people often think that, you know, any image of a child that may be exploitative in some way, that may include some nudity, automatically is child pornography. And under the law, that's actually not accurate. Child pornography is a very severe, extreme form of sexual exploitation. It requires sexually explicit conduct. But we see now this proliferation, especially in enticement cases, in financial sextortion cases, as you mentioned with your constituent, and absolutely with AI-generated imagery. We see nude and sexually exploitative imagery proliferating more, and there simply aren't legal avenues to address this appropriately. So we need to take it down. We need to fill that legal gap. We need to give law enforcement tools and prosecutors tools so that they can intervene at the earliest possible moment that a child is being enticed or sextorted or abused online, and they can prevent further abuse.
Thank you, Ms. Hawkins.
And I'll add, too, that the Take It Down Act would bring significant hope to individuals like Eli or Gavin Guffey, Mr. Fry in South Carolina. A lot of these youth feel hopeless because we're told again and again, if you make a mistake, if you take a photo of yourself, if you share it online and it gets out there, there's nothing that you can do. And these predators, they just, that's what they use, that kind of desperation. And this would give law enforcement and these youth, and adults, frankly, too, hope that we could do something about it and we can take this kind of abuse content down.
Okay, Ms. Morrill, do you have a comment on that as well? Oh, sorry.
I would agree that I think I'm really concerned about the threats of AI as the kind of next wave of threats to our kids online. And I think that we need solutions that are going to make it really clear that there will be consequences if AI products are used to harm kids.
Okay, so, and also the three of you again, so it requires websites and social media platforms to Take It Down Act to remove non-consensual intimate images within 48 hours of request. Finally, giving survivors and their families, giving them a new avenue for recourse. As an advocate who works with many of these families, can you speak to why providing new notice and takedown tools are so critical? You want to start, Ms. Soros? Yeah.
Absolutely, thank you. As I mentioned earlier, for many survivors, it's really not about criminal remedies. It's not about prosecuting somebody. It's not about going to court with their own civil lawsuit. It's simply about making sure those images do not continue to circulate or not online. So notice and takedown programs, and NCMEC operates one. Obviously, we're a nonprofit. It is a voluntary initiative that we operate. Social media platforms can comply with our request or not when we serve a notice and takedown on a company.
Do you have instances of giving a takedown notice and being told no?
We have actually on our website a list of companies that are not responsive or take an unacceptably long time to respond.
So that's publicly available. That's good. That is.
Absolutely, and happy to provide those details after the hearing. But what the notice and takedown provision within Take It Down Act does is it codifies that. So it provides some teeth. It provides a formal process. It requires and puts companies on notice that they must actually engage.
Ms. Hawkins?
We have also requested our attorneys that content be removed and the companies ignore. Google, for example, told us that a victim of sex trafficking, her trafficker is in prison, that there were no signs of coercion in the material, so they wouldn't remove it. We need the Take It Down Act because otherwise this content just proliferates more and more. I'm a victim myself of image-based sexual abuse. Now that my kids are about to get online, I live in absolute fear about what my kids are going to see about me.
Thank you. Thank you for showing, my time's up, but for the importance of this. Thank you.